What is up, boys and girls? I'm gonna try going back to basics a little bit and play kind of one longer game each day. I know sometimes people like the shorter videos. I know shorter videos tend to do quite well on YouTube, but quite honestly, I feel like I want to get better, you know? And I say this all the time in lessons and in my videos and stuff. If you want to get better, then you need to be playing longer time formats, you know? Because you need to take the time that you need to do to find the best moves that you are capable of finding, not the best moves that you are capable of finding in about 10 seconds, right? If it takes longer for you to find very good moves, then take longer, which means playing longer time formats. So I'm going to do a 15 plus 10. I've got an opponent rated 14-14, and I'm going to play e4. We have a Sicilian. I am going to play the Grand Prix, okay? But we have an increment here, 15 plus 10. So my goal here, I know what to do here. I want to trade off my bishop, my light squared bishop, for his knight, because I'm going to build a light squared pawn defense. Now he has a light squared bishop that doesn't have many prospects, and I don't. Okay, so we continue. And I really want to work here on not playing automatic moves, not reacting, but carefully and soberly considering every move and its consequences. Okay, so here this is all very normal. I've got e6, d6, knight is there. Bishop's now going to come here, which very often the bishop will fianchetto on g7 with this pawn here. But I'm going to castle. There goes the bishop. No great surprise. Now I don't need to move this bishop. Right? I'm going to move my queen to e1. My queen is going to come now to probably, I think, g3. There's no point bringing my queen here because she's just going to walk into a discovery. The knight can take this pawn for free. I have to move my queen. Knight moves back. Thank you very much for the central pawn. Okay, so I think queen here is the idea. And how do we follow it? We could play queen h3. Could put our knight here, threaten mate on there. But first we have to remove the knight, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to put my queen here. Don't see any immediate problem. The knight might come to h5. But then I guess I can just dodge, step forward, so I can step to here. This pawn is defended, so that's okay. This is a 6-10. Yeah, I'm just kind of pissed off with being sub 1500, and I would like to get back to 1500, climb my way back to 1600 if I can. I say my peak was in the 1670s a couple of months ago. I was obviously playing better. And we don't rush. This is the point. But this is a very... I'm sure I've had this exact position many times in the Grand Prix. Key points are, he's got a bad bishop here. So he's going to want to improve that bishop. Okay, he's done this move. I can now play queen h3. Knight here is a possibility. If I go here or here, I'm now attacking the knight. And he can't take this pawn. And he can't go here. Now, if my queen's on here and he just goes back, we've just repeated the dance steps. So, is there any problem with queen h3? Can't take the pawn, you can't go there. I'm attacking the knight. I don't see problem. Now a concession. Right, he has now played g6. He has really weakened his dark squares. And guess what? I have a dark squared bishop. Is there any problem with playing this? So here's my thinking. If he trades off, so if I play knight here, bishop takes, pawn takes, I've now got a pawn up in his face. Queen can't recapture because it's still defended by my bishop. I could even do this as well. That's a thought. There's a bloody thought. Another thought is f5. I know it's thematic move in the Grand Prix. f5 and let's say e takes. I can come in here There's not much point in having a bishop here. Rook's just going to move out the way, and I'd want to get my queen in via here, but it's very heavily guarded. Push here he can't take with this pawn because that just actually drops the knight and totally exposes the king. So let's consider f5. Pushing on he can't do because that drops the knight. f5 pushes. I open up his king and open up my rook at the same time. f5. I'm not threatening f6 because he'll just snatch it off. f5 might be the move. So f5, f5 and pushes. I'm happy. I'll take the pawn. f5 and e takes. I still have e takes. That then opens up his bishop. 5 e takes. Not sure. g4. Knight retreats, push. Feels better. That's what I'm going for. That feels better. That's what I'm going for. He can retreat there, he can retreat here. Either way, my relentless march on the king's side is going to continue. It says my opponent is now disconnected from the game, which would be a shame. It's not that strong a move, is it? No, he's back. He's back. The boy's back. Alrighty. So I have extended myself, it has to be said, with the pawns in front of my king. Do I have enough stuff? Thinking here, if I push, he can't push this pawn because I've got 1, 2, 3. No, I've got 2 attackers on it. Queen's not there yet. I can put my queen here, then I've got 3 attackers on the pawn. Right? If I push and takes, I think it's f5. If I push and push, I don't go there. The pawns can't do that. Yeah, and then I'm thinking maybe the bishop can drop in here. Still, I don't know. I could put my knight straight into g5, right? Knight straight into g5 and threatening mate in 1. Okay. If I do that, he's only got 2 options. He's got bishop takes, in which case pawn takes. Right, so I've then got a pawn on here, there's no pawn there. There's no pawn there, there's no bishop. Hang on. Hang on, so knight here. Bishop takes, pawn takes. So I've got doubled pawns, there's no bishop, there's no knight. But that's still fairly unpleasant for my opponent. And I've got a dark square bishop. But my dark square bishop is then hampered if I play this. So back to f5. I think I favour f5. He's not going to take with g. If he pushes, I'm taking and opening it up. If e takes, yeah, I'm doing it. Can't see any problems. Can't see any major problems. Again, look at this bishop. It's something I'm really working with recently, is this idea that a bishop can play an active part in the game with its feet up on the sofa. Right? It's still there. It's saying, look, I'm here if you need me, guys, but in the meantime, I'm just guarding these squares here. That's all right. Okay, here's a take. Now, if I take with my g-pawn, my king is kind of open, but I take with my e-pawn, he takes. There takes, oh, I don't know. Don't want to bring my knight in here, it's just going to trade off. If I take and he takes, everyone's king is open. Suddenly the G file is wide open. I can attack here. Don't want to give him another pawn though. I don't like he takes. But then if takes, am I going to be able to avoid allowing his bishop into the game? Didn't think it quite through, did I? Because I knew what his most likely response was going to be, and didn't know exactly what I was going to do in response to that. Pushes, takes. Here I'm threatening mate. Bishop takes, nope. 2 attackers, 1 defender. Right, I'm going for G takes. Because it's a laugh. And if he takes here, for example, I can go like queen here or here, and then bishop coming in here threatening mate. Takes, he'll probably drop the bishop back there, the queen back there, so he can't push them. But if he pushes the pawn, I'll just take it anyway. The bishop. So I could go here. And his knight's pinned. Just feel like there's some classic attacking ideas and patterns in the Grand Prix that I just haven't quite got my head around. Okay, my feeling now is to drop the bishop into h6. I know that is a move in the Grand Prix. What he's doing with this move, I really don't know. If he wants to swap off his dark squared bishop for my knight, I'm very happy. So if I go in here, I take the knight. He could take with the bish. But then I have that. Okay, let's do it. 8 minutes 22 on the clock. Really does pay to stick to the same openings. And it's not paying off yet, because I ought to be able to annihilate a 1400. Oh, he's come in with a random check. Now, I don't buy it. I think king h1 is fine here. I could eliminate his bishop, takes, but then I've got to reroute this knight all the way. No, king h1. That feels like he's clutching. Don't quite know what his plan is there. See, if I take the knight and king takes, I bring my knight in. Well, I can't bring my knight in right now because the queen's guarding that square. Oh, hang on. If I took out his bishop, he takes, he's attacking my knight, but I can do this and attack his knight. Right. This calls for thought, I think. I've got knight here hitting the queen. He'll probably trade off his bad bishop. Probably snatch my arm off. I'm not too concerned about my safety down here. This is all about the kingside attack, right? I've got pawn takes g6, threatening pawn takes h7 check, which would be very unpleasant. If I take here, I mean, is he honestly thinking about this? He can't give up his dark squared bishop. His dark squared bishop is vital because of these weaknesses, right, on the dark squares around the king. And I've still got mine. So, Why can't I just take here? Maybe he takes back with f. I have this move. Kind of premature. Take there, he's got queen takes. Okay, let's look at this. He's not going to take back with the h-pawn. Or we eliminate the dark. There's so many choices here. Eliminate the dark squared bishop. I don't think he's going to take back the queen, but I can come around here. I've always got the spare donkey, you see, so donkey can come around there. Okay, yeah, I think so. I think I'm in a good position. Lots and lots of different timelines, though. I don't like that. Immediately don't like that. He's just blocked off his queen's attack on the only loose material. I'm now going to bring my knight around. Okay, so start off with that. Or do I come in with this? Queen's not going to take there because rook takes. Pawn's not going to take there. Okay, I think we're all right. I like the feeling of trying to grind out a game, and even when it's tough, even when I lose, even when it doesn't go well, you know, it feels like I'm chessing properly, as opposed to this kind of guess chess that you play with Blitz. It feels like grown-up chess now, man. Rook g1 is a thought. Rook g1, rook af1, taking on here. He just doesn't want to do this, does he? At all. This rook's defended twice, that's nice. If I take here, what the actual heck is that? He's offering his rook. He can't go there because knight takes. He can't go there with check because knight takes. Yes, I know my bishop is scary. If I take here, I'm just going to take his rook out. It's a bloody rook, isn't it, at the end of the day? And his only bishop is still shit. Not taking this. I feel like I want to put a rook on g1, and the reason is because this knight is defended only by this pawn, but this pawn will there be pinned when I put my rook on g1. Yeah? And then rook a f1 to line up with the queen with the threat of this. Yeah, rook g1 also pins this pawn, so it can't take there either. So it can't take there, it can't defend that. I'm now threatening to take your knight, and your knight cannot progress there. Where's it going to go? Back to g7. Gotta be. Gotta be, gotta be, gotta be. Now, I'd like to get my knight to this square, right? But it doesn't have an easy route around there. I've just blocked off the only useful square. That's another route, and that's guarded by the queen. I think his knight goes back to g7. I play rook af1. Or do I take this pawn? I don't know. Or rook af1 and then take the pawn. Queen can't recapture. Queen has to disappear. It's got to be, hasn't it? Rook af1. Yeah, both my rooks lined up against his royal pair. And the queen can only go there and defend this pawn. And now I've got all kinds of horribles. So, like pawn up, queen here, threatening mate. Sold. And just look, the whole game I've had this light squared pawn chain, and this bishop has just been there with its thumb up its proverbial. Yeah, you see queen's now moved to avoid the discovery and to continue to defend the pawn. Now, this is my thought, dude. I think if I push this, the knight can't come here because queen takes. Oh no. No, queen defends. Okay, so let's say this pawn isn't there. You can't do this over the board. I'm attacking the knight. Then I'm threatening to come in here. But the knight can't come there and defend that square. So I go here. So knight goes here. That's a pain. That is pain, right? Do I need to do something with this silly donkey first? You silly donkey. Donkey here. Push pawn. Donkey here. Pawn is still defended, right? So donkey here. Pawn f6. Donkey he no go here because donkey take donkey, yeah? I think so. I'm down to 4 minutes. Time to finish this bugger off. We do have an increment. Like I said earlier on at the start of proceedings, the point, dude, is that we get into a winning position. If I can get into a winning... I'm actually +2 now. I'm up in exchange right now. Am I not? I have 2 rooks and he's got a stupid bishop. So the idea is this. I'm going to use his time to think. He's got plenty of time. So if I'm not thinking on his time, I'm missing a trick. Okay. Now the point is this. Pawn there. Knight can't come here because pawn takes. No, it doesn't, because that pawn is actually pinned. All right. So he figured that out before me. Bugger. Rook here. How about this? I just didn't see that pawn was pinned, did I? Okay, rook g5. Now we have to think. Don't like thinking. It's hard. Or knight h. I like knight there. Knight there is quite good. If the queen isn't there, then the only defender of the knight is this pinned pawn. So how can we get rid of that queen? There? I can't take. Here? What am I threatening? Not a fat lot. Rook here. That was a good move by opponent there. Good move by opponent. However, if I move this knight, I'm attacking this with a rook. Yeah, I should move this knight. I'm going to move my knight here because I'm now threatening this. And pawn can't take because it's pinned. But if queen takes, I take, and pawn can't take because it's pinned. Can't go in here. If he goes in here, threatening rook. Rook's defended. I am up an exchange, but down a pawn. I've got this check, and then queen coming in there with mate. Check. King can't move because that's mate. Queen takes is the only option. He's in check. If he goes here, it's checkmate because queen takes h7. The whole point of the Grand Prix attack. But my God, we have to work for that. If he takes rook to... Right, no, he can't take rook. Right, queen takes is the only option, and then rook takes queen. And we wins. Don't we, my love? How long did he take over that thought? 28 seconds he thought over that. 28 seconds and he plays this. And then in 14 seconds I find this resource. And I feel like I've got a bit lucky here. I can't see a way out for him. Can't see. There's the only continuation that prevents checkmate is to sack the queen for a knight. And this bishop still hasn't moved. But the key factors are, look at where my major pieces are. Right, major pieces, 2 rooks and the queen, all lined up against the king. This is the whole point of the Grand Prix attack. Now I'm sure I didn't play this well, but I'm confident I'm winning now. There we go, we take queen. He attacks pawn. He's now blocked off his silly bishop again. Okay, but I'm down to 2 minutes, but we have time. Okay, how do we win? I feel like this is a move. He's attacking this. I'm up massive amounts of material. I'm going to do this and defend the pawn and see if he fancies the idea. Or actually, maybe he wants to, maybe I should have just pushed actually. Should have pushed and left that pawn there for eternity. But he can, his bishop can enter the game now, but it's too little too late. He can't go there now because I take it. I could even take that bishop actually, but what's the point in that? Right, he's taken. If I take, bishop takes. I sack my rook. No, pointless. I'm going to take out his bishop. I don't care. I don't care. That bishop could be strong. I've still got my king. You know, my stuff is on dark squares, right? I have winning material here. He's also attacking my rook. Okay, taking out both rooks. So it's going to be a rook against the queen finish, unless I, for example, do this and give check and just remove one of his most important pawns. It's a nice in-between move. And if this pawn takes and queen takes knight, he doesn't have this, which is important because we don't want to get checkmated. Generally inadvisable. Right, 2 minutes 10 seconds I've got on the clock, 2 minutes 11. If he does this, I'm going to recapture. So we are in a winning position, and with a 10-second increment, I should be able to convert this relatively easily. Got 5 pawns against 6 pawns. But I have a queen. Okay, he's pushed. Let's throw in a check. And fork a pawn. King has to move to a dark square, so my next move is going to come with check as well, unless he blocks. I have to eliminate this pawn. If I take here, he's going to come here. So do I have to move my king across? I can't really. I should be able to do this. King, king. He's going to have to put his rook behind his pawn. This is actually by no means won. This advanced pawn is potentially very, very dangerous. Now, if I sack my queen for his rook, so I go here, he goes here, I sack, oh he can't right now, he can't put his rook there and defend the pawn. Was that just a blunder? He can't put his rook there because I take it and I'm still attacking the pawn. He promotes, I take. I think that was a blunder. I think he had opportunities there. He goes there, I go here. He can't go there or there because I take. No! That was clever. Right, now oh man. He goes he goes here, and if I check he blocks... Oh man, that was very good. That was very good. I absolutely blew that, didn't I? Okay, he can't block with the queen. I may be able to squeeze a perpetual, but damn it. If he goes here, I've got that. He can't block with the queen. Now he can block with the queen. No, he can't. He can block with the rook. But they're in the same position. My queen can go here and check. If I can get a perpetual out of this, I'll be one happy bunny. Oh dear. Oh dear. But it's chess. Now, at some point there, I was winning, and what did I miss in the end game? I even had a brilliant... Where's my brilliant? Rook taking out the bishop was brilliant. Wow. Okay, and I absolutely stuffed it right in the... Okay, with this move, grabbing the free pawn, I freed up his rook. Now what should I have done? Is it king here? King g2 is best, okay. So right now his rook is pinned. Can't go anywhere. All I need to do is get closer to this pawn. King g2. And I'm winning. So let's see how I blew it. I blew it here. And now it says draw. Queen d8 is best. Queen d8 here. He blocks. Do I come here? No, because he had this was the move. Really impressed by that. But this is the point. I needed to maintain the pin and just hold his rook there. Get my king a little bit closer. Wow. All that hard work. Yeah. I got into a winning position. This is winning, +4, right? Which basically reflects the material difference. Winning position. And whatever he does now, if he does e2 now, I play queen e5. I play queen e5. Yeah, so king f8 gets out of it and I take the pawn. Okay. He can't defend the pawn. He can't defend the pawn now. Let myself down in the end game, didn't I? Anyway, but there's always an important lesson. You only lose if you don't take the lesson. And this was a good one. And Sahil Rajput, mate, congratulations. You played very well. You clung on. You did what you had to do. You know, you did me over in the end game with this very, very cool pass pawn. And it just shows what I've got to, you know, what is my edge? Where have I got to learn to apply myself a bit more? And what I didn't do here was I didn't... Well, I knew that this pawn was the problem. But do you remember, I think I just said to myself, I think I can take this pawn. I think I can handle, you know, this guy. But no, I couldn't. I didn't, you know, I think is guess chess. I didn't think it through. What I needed to do is get my king to here, right, so that I could play my queen over and guarantee stopping his pawn. Here was just too late, but my opponent earned that. You know, he clung on in the middle game. I got to a winning advantage and I stuffed it. But he did well, so well done. That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.